promotion. The Missile Dropkick is back. MDWA brings you a jam-packed night of non-stop action. Championships will be on the line. Rivalries will ignite, and the energy will be unmatched. MDWA is the premier wrestling promotion. Tickets are on sale now.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Lethal Voice Podcast Show. We got a great show on hand. We're going to be talking about the upcoming wrestling show, the Missile Dropkick Wrestling Association, MDWA Revolution show. In another week or so, February 23rd, we got championship matches. We got the best in the Midwest, and I got these two guys. On the left of me and on the right of me, we have Mission, and then we have Richard Mill.
Subbing in for the Rich, the podcaster guy.
Man, this is going to be great.
Thank you for having us.
This is going to be great. I appreciate you guys coming in and being on my podcast. I was on your podcast yesterday.
I know, man. It was such a great time having you on our podcast. And, thank you for having us.
Well, what I want to know is a little bit more about yourselves and anything else you want to add.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I can start. I've been in the film industry for 24 years, and I've been a wrestling fan my entire life. And I was fortunate within the last year to come and be a part of the industry, do some things that I think are great things. Doing a documentary for independent wrestling, and being involved in wrestling promotions and just being able to tell great stories and get the fans what they want, man.
That's right. What about Richard Mill? He's a interesting character here.
Yeah, thanks. Hold that for me. Well, this is a podcast thing, Mission. He's a friend of my friend, the Rich. The Rich is a student from Specs Howard that I just took a liking to. He's been doing podcasts. He had a rap podcast a while ago. He's a podcaster, host, and everything. He's one of these little townies that you just like. They say he looks like me and everything. But however, though, Richard Mill, I'm the Black Billionaire Champion. All the billionaires that named me, their champion. I came up through multimedia. And one of the guys I did surpass as I was moving through to Detroit, it was Mr. Smith, but he was a viable threat. I had to do some very maniacal things to get past this man. And you know what, though? But although I had to step on a couple of heads to climb to the top of the mountain, doesn't mean I don't want to pick some guys up. Of course, Mr. Smith was the first guy that came to mind.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. You said Specs Howard.
Well, that's where the Rich went.
Oh, that was the Rich.
Yeah. So the Rich is my podcast partner. We have the Ring Review Wrestling podcast. By the way. Yeah. And not only are we just having great episodes where we're sitting down talking about wrestling, and shout out to our other podcast partner, King Midas, but me and the Rich, we started the Ring Review Wrestling podcast about 3 years ago. And as it's grown, it's grown.
This mic is turned off. Oh, there you go.
There we go. As it's grown, it's grown. What we've noticed doing this podcast is that we got to give it the fans what they're asking for, right?
Yes.
So, if there's something they want us to cover, we make sure we cover it, give them the exclusive.
Understand. Okay. Well, what got you into the world of sports entertainment, as we know as professional wrestling?
I'll take this one, Mission. So when you think about the world of sports entertainment, everything is pro wrestling, really. Saying this from a billionaire standpoint, going into these broad rooms and stuff like that. I play these guys just like the puppets they are. But what really got us into is that most of us grew up on pro wrestling. Most of us took our vitamins, said our prayers, and do our push-ups. And, a lot of us didn't obviously make the right moves in life to become like me, but we still tuned in Mondays, Fridays, and sometimes Thursdays when they got their stuff mixed up to check out the product as well as WCW. Like, pro wrestling is everything. The stories are amazing. The things that you learn through pro wrestling, through the various stories, matches, and everything. You just had to talk on it. We just had to speak on it, and it's just like it's time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I guess we all, when we were younger, we all gravitated to professional wrestling.
And yeah, we gravitate to it. And I think the reason I gravitate to it personally was because it's just one match in particular I was watching as a kid that just jumped me into this world and knew I was going to be in love with this world. And that would be WrestleMania 3. Hulk Hogan versus Andre
Best WrestleMania ever. I think so.
Hey, listen, watching that match was storytelling, right?
Yes.
You had this great superhero guy, Hulk Hogan, lifting up this giant.
Real giant.
This real giant. Like, it was no facade. He was.
How big was Andre the Giant? I'm just curious.
I think he was what? He was like 7'11", 8 feet tall.
Oh,
something like that.
He wasn't say no. I think he was 7'4" and 5.
Oh, you know what it was? The whole facade of there's your actual height and then there's your wrestling height, right? It's your pro wrestling height. But even
he was a 7-footer.
But even a 7'4" man at the size he was, was. You never saw anything like it.
You gotta think he probably really was 7'4" though, because look how much he towered over Hulk Hogan. Hogan was 6'7".
He was bigger than a lot of most guys too. Like,
Hogan was 6'7".
You had to think about it. A guy that huge, not only in height but in weight. That's what it was. It was height and weight.
Giant.
So you never seen anybody this big.
He was bigger than Big John Studd.
Yeah. He towered over him.
Yeah.
If you remember WrestleMania 5, they actually locked up a little bit. But the thing is, when you saw Hulk Hogan slam Andre the Giant,
Gave
you like, what is this?
Gave you goosebumps.
What is this little guy? Because he was a little guy compared to him.
You see how they
slamming him? Yeah, it's like, oh, he slammed him, and I never felt out of love with professional wrestling after that. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it for me.
It caught us all.
You know, I would say my moment I fell in love with pro wrestling on that level would have to be the Bret Hart and Stone Cold match, the I Quit match.
Man, so let me tell you, that is crazy because the Crimson Mask.
Mask.
This man really made you believe there's no quit, even if you pass out.
Stone Cold.
Oh yes, there's no quit in this man. Yeah. And that told me he was going to be the world champion after that. I knew he would be world champion.
One thing I want to add, when I'm training these guys, when I train my students, and when I'm talking to the young guys, I realize a lot of them are not students of the game. They keep looking at this new stuff, which is cool. But if you really want to learn how to work, you want to go get you that DVD Mid-South Wrestling.
Yeah.
You want to go watch Mid-South Wrestling. You want to watch WrestleMania 3. Yeah. Or like back in it, or even
you really want to talk.
You really probably should watch old WCW matches if you really want to learn.
You really want to talk pro wrestling and learning the game. You need to go watch how a Bret Hart and an Owen Hart did at WrestleMania 10. Yeah. These two brothers showed you technical wrestling at its best. And you know they train different. They trained in that dungeon with their dad.
Speaking of dungeon, let me ask you all, because I wanted to ask somebody this. What did y'all think when Owen went against Shamrock in the dungeon and they had
in the cage?
What's my man's name? Steve
Dan Severn?
Dan Severn as a referee.
Which, by the way, you know, King Kong was trained by him.
Trained by Dan Severn?
Yeah, King Kong was trained by him. Yes.
By what, Dan Severn?
Yeah, by Dan Severn.
That's his
yes.
That's why
King Kong Bundy was trained.
No, King Kong Coleman. Independent wrestler.
Okay.
King Kong Coleman.
Okay.
Which honestly, I'm glad you brought him up. You know, that's somebody, Lou, that you should take a look at. King Kong Coleman.
King Kong Coleman.
Yeah, we're gonna get some information to you. You should check him out.
Definitely. I was looking for some new talent.
I know you are. Speaking of that, though, because you brought up that match, you got Owen Hart, you got Ken Shamrock, and these are guys who, on one side of pro wrestling, he's a technical guy. Owen Hart trained in the dungeon with his dad, Stu Hart. But then you had Ken Shamrock, who was like,
at the time, the most dangerous man in the world.
Dangerous man in MMA, right?
He went. What's the brothers that he used to fight like the dangerous in the
in MMA.
yeah. What's my
Oh,
name?
man, yeah,
What's those guys, man?
Goodness, I can't.
Because he went total.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was the real deal in MMA. He was the real deal.
I know his name.
When he came over to WWE, I was like,
Garcia.
It might have been, but when he came over to WWE, I was like, are they really about to have this really dangerous man in this ring with these guys?
I was
concerned.
Well, I wasn't concerned, but I was really interested in what Ken because I knew.
Well, I mean,
because remember, we struck gold with Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So now let's try it again. You know what I mean? Like, because Kurt Angle is
that's even different because Kurt Angle is an Olympic wrestler, right? But it's that.
But Ken Shamrock's a world class wrestler too. It's just
Kurt Angle was a world champion and an Olympic gold medalist with a broken freaking neck. So you're talking about guys who come from a different pedigree, right? Because to win the Olympics with a broken neck, you're definitely probably one of the most dangerous men.
And then also to win the UFC championship back before the UFC was corporate. This one, Ken Shamrock was winning when it was just Mortal Kombat. It was like, hey, who's the toughest guy? You want to show up? Remember when it was coming out on tapes? Yeah. Who's the toughest guy? When it was just Mortal Kombat, Ken Shamrock.
The wildest thing about it is these guys are really cooked up athletes, right? Because you can get into what happened later. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is one of the most decorated athletes ever.
Yeah.
NCAA, UFC, WWE.
Yeah.
Across the board, you got these real athletes. And so I know this is what you're talking about with your students is, hey, you need to watch these real athletes.
Because they don't watch around. I can tell.
To be a student of the game.
I can tell. Just that the got certain guys, recent guys that was in there that might do a little MMA fighting. I was like, you don't watch wrestling. I keep telling y'all every night, study it. Yeah. Y'all just watching it like as a fan, but y'all don't watch it.
Y'all not watching these guys that actually put on programs like we've said Bret Hart, we said Ken Shamrock. But then you got people that you don't even that really was cooking. You had Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Loved it. Rick Rude
cooking.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, so there.
Yeah. I mean and one thing about Rick Rude is he knew how to see. That's what I'm saying. He knew how to bring the crowd into it.
That was their storyteller. Let's just say the hip thrusting. Rick Rude,
you know. The get your girl airbrushed on my pants.
No, get my opponent's airbrushed on my pants.
Get your girl.
There's about to lose. Because I will never forget WrestleMania 5, even though probably Barry Heaton had something to do with it, when Rude beat the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
He had the Ultimate Warrior painted on his pants.
Whoa. That ain't nothing. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna go better. You remember when Rick Rude had Jake the Snake's wife on his pants?
Oh yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. Like,
that's my kind of heel.
Hey, that's past a heel, bro. Like I'm gonna take it personally and make it personal. But that's storytelling. So
they had me like I remember when I was young watching it. I was like, who husband is she talking about? My husband. I was like, who is she talking? I'm trying to think who husband she talking about. You know, right. It was that.
That's pro wrestling for you. Pro wrestling is where they blur the lines, right? They can tell a story that makes you feel like, is this real? Let's talk about it. Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth.
That was funny. He said, "You got lust in your eyes, Miss Elizabeth." I mean, Hogan. Yeah. He said, "Who you got lust in your eyes?"
And beat him up in the background. Like, listen,
that was a great Saturday Night Main event.
The Mega Powers
exploding was nuts. I was crying.
But then you had people who could tell a story that weren't even. He wrestled, but he didn't wrestle a lot. Roddy Piper in the Piper's Pit. Oh, yeah. Every time the Piper's Pit hit, you remember every single one of them.
We're thinking about bringing the dojo pit.
Hey, there it is. We need it, bro.
But one guy that's not on the show because he's supposed to be on, but he got obligations. Carlos, Radical, and I said we're gonna do the dojo.
Yeah,
not
the dojo sounds. Hey, that sounds like it's always gonna be violent though. It sounds like it's gonna always turn to a violent night. But I like the fact that that's what pro wrestling is about. Pro wrestling is not just about the wrestling. Yeah, it's about the storytelling. It's about Let me just be confident about it. It's about guys like us who will be in DWA.
Resolution. And I was going to ask you, we're going ahead. But I was going to ask you what drew you to MDWA and how did the opportunity come by. We're going to talk about wrestling, but I want to talk about you guys.
Yeah, no. What drew us to NWA is that it's a different type of place. It really is. And what I mean by that is there's some great pro wrestling happening over here. And there's some great characters over here. And I feel like you got some wrestlers over here that could be the next Seth Rollins. And you got wrestlers over here who could be the next Gunther. You really got some guys over here that when we saw them, we should bring another guest here. We got another guest here too. But
let him come on and talk.
Yeah, let's bring him on in because honestly, guys, you guys need to get to know this guy. He's been traveling all over. He was just at WrestleCon and he got to talk to a lot of the legends. Houston Genius. Come on in, Houston Genius. This guy's the man. How you doing?
Good.
All right, there we go. So tell people who you are, Houston.
I am Houston Genius, a family faction wrestling podcaster who had especially won and now being the youngest award-winning podcaster in the world.
There it is, yo.
I'm up here looking at this. I should be looking at this. You guys that see this at home or wherever you look, you'll give this kid a hand.
Yeah. He's like I said, he went around WrestleCon talking to a lot of the legends. He got to talk to Victoria. He got to talk to Buff Bagwell. He got to talk to the Headbangers. Who else did he talk to? Chavo Guerrero Jr.
The Hacksaw
We right next to Hacksaw. Hacksaw gave Houston a picture of him at King of the Ring when he won King of the Ring.
Was that the first? No,
because Hacksaw was winning the first everything.
He won the first.
Yep. This is Royal Rumble weekend too.
Yeah, this was Royal Rumble weekend, right next to Hacksaw. Shout out to Hacksaw.
First Royal Rumble.
But he's such a great guy.
No, he's
such a great guy. But everybody we cooked up. And then we just did. Who did we just interview?
We had just interviewed Matt Riddle, the RKO Bro King.
All right, we did. We just talked to Matt Riddle, bro. But yeah, you're gonna see this kid, man. He's gonna be a part of he's gonna be a part of NDWA. He's gonna be the kid correspondent. He's definitely doing his thing, and so proud of him.
At the MDWA show.
Yeah, we're so proud of him. We're so proud of him.
Letting them know where.
But what really
live from the playgrounds.
But what really drew us to NWA really is the history. There's some history here, man. Shout out to you and everything you've done and everything all the people you've trained. Really, you've trained some great people. One of them in particular, Freedom Ramsey.
Well, to give credit, I mentored him.
Yeah,
but I think Freedom was actually
you mentored him. Yeah. He's one of the ones you mentored. I know he was trained. Was it Truth? He was trained by Truth, and he was trained by Paul Bowser over at City Championship.
I was going to say,
yes.
One of the things that drew me to it also with the MDWA is first of all, I love missile drop kicks. It's one of my favorite pro wrestling moves ever. So there's that.
Thank you. That's a good move.
It is. But one of the things is, of course, the talent, but in the history, and then also King Midas in H5 and the spin with how H5 is doing out here. He's a close associate to us. And everything.
Well, tell us more about King Midas.
King Midas is a very interesting guy. King Midas is the seeker of all things gold. He wants all the gold championships throughout all the federations. That's big, that's small. He takes them all. Now, me being a billionaire and everything, I'm more into platinum or various other digital at this point in my life. But I do respect the man that has, the prestige pursuit for value. And he is the king of gold.
What's up with the white? The yellow gold,
the gold glove is the golden touch of Midas, okay? Because he knows how to pick championship contenders. He knows how to go after the championship. He's the maker of documentaries and the manager of champions. I cook up very closely with Midas. We have a lot of conversations about the things that we want to do here in pro wrestling and how we want to give back to the community of pro wrestling. So the documentary is one of them, but there's a lot of layers to King Midas. But one thing is for sure, he knows what a championship wrestler looks like.
I tell you, I'm really excited because I believe you guys gonna bring a lot to the MDWA. We definitely welcome you with all arms. You guys gonna bring something unique, excitement. You're gonna bring the fans, and
I mean, it's gonna be most of these fans' first time being close to a billionaire. So
this is my first time being close to a billionaire. You need to start a class up on how to become a billionaire. When is that coming?
It's not only it's in you. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have it,
but what I do know about the Riches, you just said that, and later he's going to think of a way to make that happen. Because what I do know about you, if you don't mind me saying, is that he definitely comes up with ideas, and a class taught by Richard Mille is not a bad idea.
It would be nice.
But just because
they
we're
couldn't
about
afford my words, so. But that's cute though.
But no, seriously, the thing is, NDWA has really been welcoming to us. We were able to cook up at the press conference and ask some questions.
And that was great.
Man, we appreciate that. And then, like I said, you've got wrestlers like Freedom Ramsey who, because I'm a person who likes to tell the history of what's going on, he was over here as the champion at some point, correct?
Yeah, he was Freedom Shoe. He was the longest MDWA champion since the inception. I mean, like, I guess our first champion was Josh Movado. I challenged him and I lost twice. Josh Movado. I couldn't get it done, but maybe that rematch should come one day.
Yeah.
But Freedom, he won it at the Troy Family Days in a 4-way against like the baddest MDWA athletes, man. But Freedom has been awesome, and he's still going. I'm trying to hang on to Freedom as long as we can get, because I know he got that WWE.
He about to get flued out. He's gonna be out of here.
Yeah. I think seeing him at the press conference and seeing how confident he is in his ability. I know you're gonna jump into this at some point, but just watching how he was in the press conference, which has nothing to do with wrestling, it's just he knows how to tell a story, right?
Yeah, he's a hell of a storyteller.
Yeah,
I seen him grow up, but it was interesting because he got in a big shoving match with the Show Up and Show Out show, and Tez Cash Carter and Roy the Working Man Williams. They ain't no slumps, man. They ain't no pushovers. They can go. They used to be former NDWA tag team champions, and it looked like what might happen is Atlas Hightower might team up with Freedom, and they might go up against Tez Cash Carter and Roy the Working Man. What y'all thoughts about that?
I kind of feel like who's the guy you said was going to give with Freedom again?
Atlas Hightower.
Yeah, that Atlas Hightower guy. Now I was watching when I rewatched you guys' press conference because Rich told me to check you out. That guy has it. So between
he look like a black Randy Orton, though.
A little bit. So between him and Freedom, I think they might have a little sauce cooked up for those street work. What's with the Worker Man?
The Working Man. They former tag team champions. They beat the Cross Brothers.
Here's my thing about it. Here's my thing about it. Anytime that you got two guys like Freedom and Atlas, you really got guys who could cook up in the ring, man. Yeah. And so I don't know, man.
It's a sleeper.
Right. You might sleep on this match, but it's gonna grab your attention because they're gonna get in there.
I'm looking forward to that match, man. That's one of the matches I'm really looking forward to. It's a good match. What can fans expect from you as hosts and commentators? The commentary booth on February 23rd. You guys gonna be commentating?
Yeah. So here's what you can look forward to us is that we're going to entertain. Right, we come to entertain. We come to obviously we want to talk about what's happening in the ring, but we also want you guys to love the show all together. So we're gonna be the comic relief at some point, but then again we're gonna jump in there and be journalists.
And of course we watched plenty of pro wrestling, so we're gonna keep you guys abrupt. But what you're gonna get is you're gonna get prestige and elite. Like again. Most of you will never know what it is to even speak to somebody of my, level or net worth or stuff like that. And you'll also probably never meet with a guy who has more award shows than Mr. Smith, because most of you will never achieve anything. So the fact that our presence will even be there, and even if the Rich shows up, he far exceeds most of you guys. I mean, you tell me the accomplishments. Regardless, you get to see Black excellence. That's what you get to see. You get to see prestige. You get to hear first-class speeches and first-class, hold that mic, son. You get to hear first-class speeches and first-class commentary from real people.
I don't
real
mind being on this show with you, Richard Mill. We can't cut it to my guy, the Rich. That's my guy. I don't mind being. I know how you are.
He's a good.
I know
kid.
how you are,
He's
but
a good kid.
you can't cut into my guy. Like
No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
All right.
I apologize. He's a good
I mean, I just know.
No.
One thing, the Black billionaire. Word has it. You have a championship.
Oh well, yeah. I was awarded the Black Billionaire Championship.
There it is.
I was awarded the Black Billionaire Championship from all the Black billionaires because we all get together and we throw stuff. I'm highly respected in the community. I'm a fighter. I do mixed martial arts. I do Greco wrestling and things of that nature. And typically I fly people out to help train. Well, these brokers are just keep getting broke. So that's why I'm in the Pro Wrestling League. They're more or less scout talent because, who's tougher than pro wrestlers?
We never know. I would like to see you in the ring one day in the NDWA. That'd be great.
We'll talk to my people. A lot. My safety, secures a lot of people's lives.
No doubt.
So what I'm saying, what I'm going to say is, whenever you get in the ring, I'm going to make sure I cover that. But I do want to know something from you, Lou. I know we're not trying to take over.
No.
However, the thing is, what made you want the ring review at NDWA?
That's a great question, Mission.
Oh, that's a fantastic, man. It was something missing in the NDWA. We needed somebody that draws the crowd, somebody that makes the show interesting. We needed the mission, and we needed the Rich Men.
Oh, well, there it is. That's the question.
It's like bringing fireworks to the.
And as Mission always says, you
To the
heard it
family
here
reunion.
first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. But on the 23rd, we're gonna come. We're gonna host the show. We're gonna tell some stories ourselves as far as how we commentate that night. But we want to talk to these wrestlers. We want to really see what their psychology is like.
I want to see if any of them have billionaire talent because my belt, the Black Billionaire Championship, the BBC of Pro Wrestling, it's not just solely for me. If I can actually find one of these townies that actually have it in them to pull themselves up by the tongue of their shoe, because most of them can't even afford the bootstraps, but to pull themselves up by the tongue of their shoe like I did and challenge for a Black Billionaire Championship, I'd be more than happy. But you have to have the billionaire talent, and I have to scout it.
It's one gentleman that might have $1 billion. He might have millions. Is Tez Cash Carter of the Show Up and Show Out show. He brings money to the ring. He comes out.
Hey.
Yeah, that might be one person you might Tez Cash Carter. He's with the Working Man, and then you got that shoving match with
Freedom. Is he in Forbes at all? Or?
Is he what?
Has he been in Forbes? Or?
Well, he told. I asked him that too, and he told me that he's too important to be in Forbes.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Does he have an LLC that I can look up or anything?
Well, you might have to interview him. You'll see him.
Sir,
I think.
Hold on 1 second, Mish. You see that monitor right there that you're looking into?
Yeah.
My portfolio was twice as thick as that.
Oh wow.
So when you're talking about guys, have you heard of them and everything? It's like,
well, I'm thinking you important. You should have heard of Tez Cash Carter. He's a former NDWA Tag Team Champion.
Must have been a bad time for you guys to stop.
Well, look, I'm gonna say this. I think we should set up that interview because
that would be great.
I think we should. But here's somebody that I want to interview.
Okay.
I want to sit down and I really want to talk to Crazy X.
Oh, yeah.
I got to get the exclusive, man.
Yeah, he's a weird one. I mean,
Listen, you don't have to live like this,
Now listen, I'd like to get in there and talk to the people that nobody else can. Because
He's
how do I
crazy.
get the exclusive?
Did you see what he did at the press conference?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think, and quote me wrong, but as a journalist, there's sometimes you got to be careful. And I don't think Castro was very careful with his words at the press conference.
Well, what did he put his hands on crazy?
Yeah, I think what happened is sometimes you get what you ask for.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. I know that happens over here at NDWA.
The
You
good
get
old
what you ask
mess
for.
around and find out equation.
Yeah, but look, because they don't pop out and show them. Like, listen, this is what I think.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, definitely. What I'm gonna say is there is no one like you guys, and that's the main reason we're over at MDWA.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, actually, who are some people I might be interested to talk to? Aren't you having a baddies championship, or aren't you gonna have a couple of women's contests?
Yeah. Oh man. I'm glad you brought that up. We got from Brawlerville.
Yeah,
she's the MDWA Women's Champion. That's Brittany K.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that young lady. I'd be very interesting to.
but you know,
speak to her
it's
for a
interesting
second.
that you brought that up because there was a young lady who came up and said she's going to be the next contender, right?
You talking about a little Missy Honey Badger?
Yeah, well, she's going against her, right?
Yeah,
But we had somebody pop up at your press conference and said, whoever wins, she's next. And that's Pepper Pride.
Pepper
Pride.
Yo,
Yes,
the Queen
yes,
Pepper Pride. Let me
yes.
just put
But
this
well,
way.
she was in a tag match with Brittany K. I think on the last show, and I don't. What do you think?
Lou, hold on one second. I'll take to my Pep. I just want to say to you, you know, hi, this is Richard Mill, the Black Billionaire Champion, BDC of Pro Wrestling. You definitely have billionaire talent. And however that women's match turns out, I'm sure you will ascend to the top. So, Pep, when you're ready to hop on the yacht and do some yacht talking, we can probably discuss it, you know, how we can take you to the next level because you have it, huh?
And before you become, because she was very confident she's going to be the NDWA heavy women's champion at some point.
Talking about Pepper Pride.
Yeah, she was very confident, and I believe her because I've seen her in the ring. She
can go.
She can go. But I think you know what? Who we should have sit down with Pepper Pride first? We're gonna have Houston Genius get in there and get the exclusive with Pepper Pride. What do you think about that?
Crazy.
But are you going to get the exclusive from her? You're going to ask her some tough questions.
Yes.
All right, we heard it there first, man. Yeah, so I think Pepper Pride is definitely the future, if she's not already the present. But we got to talk about this match with Brittany K and Honey Badger. I think it's gonna get real personal.
Well, okay, it will. Let me give you a little history about those two. Honey Badger actually she don't have a contract with MDWA yet, and she interjected herself with the match with Ruthie J and Alejandra, and then so that messed things up. We had a women's tournament, and so you know Brittany K beat two women to become the MDWA Women's Champion, and she wanted a piece of the Honey Badger wanted a piece of Brittany K, and Brittany K had the old Women's Championship, and Honey Badger had the old Women's Championship, and Brittany K had the current MDWA Championship, and they fought for those two. And I tell you,
that's why she's holding two titles in the flyer.
She's putting it in Honey Badger's face like I'm the real MDWA Women's Champion, and those two this is a rematch, but it's going to be a little beef because King JR, which is Brittany K's boyfriend, speared the Honey Badger on the last show. Nobody knew he actually speared it.
And so like I said, if it gets to that point, it gets personal. My question is, what strategy will the Honey Badger have? And you know, that's a question we did
Very
ask.
classless.
I think she's got to have a strong strategy because the cards are stacked up against her.
She needs some people there because you know you Brittany is just part of the Bradford exchange, and you know it's going to be somebody always involved.
I'll say this though: when you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. Something I'm far from. But however, that Honey Badger, I've seen her, and to tell you the truth, I'm pretty sure she's got the lot to get off her chest. And I'm pretty sure that when you're scrappy like that and you're such a townie, you don't have much, you gotta get for something. So I feel like she might be that hungry for it. I think we might see an upset.
Okay. What you think?
Well, my thought is this. Like I said, the cards are stacked against her. And if you know anything about having cards stacked against you, you got to have a strategy.
Yeah.
So my thing is, Honey Badger, you better have done your research and figured out how you're going to, come against this mountain that's against your back right now. Because I don't know. I really don't know if she'll be able to overcome that.
I respect Honey Badger. I believe she's going to put up a good fight, but Brittany K, she's something different. She's climbing up in the ranks of the women division and women wrestling period, and she holds that MDWA championship proud. Even when she's not at the MDWA, I see her with the title proud. She's proud. She don't want to let go of that title. Let's put it like that.
And that's what I said. Both of these ladies are going to come from a way of knowing who they are personally.
Yeah,
but strategy.
Yeah,
it's all about strategy.
Yeah.
And there's a question I have for you, because I see that not only are you paying attention to what's going on in the ring, but you're paying attention to what's going on outside with these people.
Yeah.
This heavyweight championship match y'all got coming.
Very important. Yeah, it's a lot of people gunning for, a lot of individuals gunning for Jay Emanuel's MDWA championship. I mean, look, he has Danny Blaze is in the background in the shadows, because Danny Blaze, he keeps coming. He's been chasing after Jay Emanuel for a long time, but he lost the last show in a ladder match. So, but this other I'm really looking forward to Harrison H5. I really want to say H5, but H5. This is gonna be crazy. We know Jay Emanuel has a mixed martial arts background. We know that. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Okay. And
he's a dangerous wrestler too. He's been in there for. He been a wrestler.
And when again, it's all about what you know. In this case, it's all about what you know. But it's also about who you know. Because H5, like I said, is with King Midas.
Yes,
and King Midas knows what championship looks like. So for H5, I think this is the time for him to show what he's really made of. He's got a great personality, because we saw it at the press conference.
Yeah.
But he's a dangerous dude in the ring.
Because and I'll tell you one thing I learned in my days of coming up on teams. One thing that a coach always taught me is you can't, no matter how much we work with you and everything and coach and everything like that, you can't teach big.
No, you can't teach size. That's a big boy.
But we also remember, memory is that he took down Freedom Ramsey.
Yeah.
H5 has beaten Freedom Ramsey
maybe twice, because I believe he beat him over at the MDWA Underground, at the MDWA school.
Yeah,
he beat him at the school, and I think even at CCW.
Well, no, so there has been some. There has been some things over there, and H5 has not beat Freedom over there. But however, he gave him a fight. And then, but like you said, at the schoolhouse, which I was there and I saw personally, H5 took Freedom down.
Yeah,
he took him down in convincing fashion. He's taking him down.
Well, Freedom did have his foot on the rope.
Hey, listen. But whoever's hand is raised at the end of the match
is all that counts.
Is the winner.
Yeah,
is the winner, and because we can say that because we talk about history of wrestling, like we have. There's been some matches where you go, did that person win?
Yeah.
Because to me, Stone Cold passing out and not saying I quit is a win, not a loss. However, on the record books, Bret Hart got the win.
I disagree with that.
In most recent memory, too, the Gunther and Randy Orton thing, when Randy clearly had Gunther pinned for the 3, and then they didn't give it to him.
I believe that one.
There you go.
I love Gunther.
But you said Danny Blaze. Danny Blaze was trained by Seth freaking Rollins. So he brings something to the game that nobody else brings to the game.
Yeah, he do. He's really cool and calm. He's came a long way, Danny Blaze, since he's joined the MDWA. I seen him grow, and he's came a long way. And he's ready for a title run. But I heard that he might have a little trouble too, because Mad Dog Valentino is going to be in the house on February 23rd.
Oh man, so
Have
again,
y'all seen Mad Dog
so-
Valentino?
No, I haven't. But what I want to say is this: keep your head on a swivel if it's a problem, because anything can happen.
Anything can
Did you say
happen.
Mad Dog 2020?
Mad Dog Valentino.
He sounds like a
the
Mad
Don
Dog
of Detroit.
2020. He sounds like a Mad Dog 2020 drinker.
No, I mean, what I'm looking at is this. I'm looking at that this show is loaded with a lot of talent. We didn't even talk about everybody because there's a match that I think is another sleeper, but not so much because these two bring so much personality. I think OV8 versus Evan Arnold.
Yeah, he got the katanas together.
Yeah, so the
Is
person.
that illegal? Is that legal to bring two swords?
I mean,
to
the
ring?
snake, Jake the
Have
Snake
you
Runner.
seen that? Have you seen him bring sword?
You like
to the ring?
Do you like OV8?
Well, let's just say he's crazy. He's
OVA.
Yes, he's crazy for when he would name himself for the 8 to bring his swords.
Mhm.
When we're great friends, he gave me a sword.
Oh, he did.
So it's not legal.
But I thought that's illegal giving a kid a sword.
Well, it's not actually a real sword. It's
Oh,
just
it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely
real.
real. It's definitely real.
It's real.
So, but no, but
I'll say this about that though. You know, the OVA guy, very tough guy. I've seen him compete all around. He definitely has billion-dollar talent, and I'm looking to hire him because a guy like that can keep a man like me very safe.
well, and I think what Houston Jeans was saying, the sword that he gave him was
That's what it was.
was not real. It was a toy
It was some-
that
below.
mimicked the real swords
It
that
was a
he.
sword from 5.
Yeah, that he's that. But no, it was an OVA because OVA has great merch. By the way, I've seen him have great merch, and I think that was just something for the fans. Although Houston is more than a fan because Houston is a part of our industry.
Yeah.
But the swords that OVA brings to the ring, I don't know if that's legal because you bring those to the ring, that could be a very dangerous ending to the match.
Hey, everybody needs to protect themselves at all times.
But
That's all
what I was saying is Evan Arcourt came very confident at that press conference.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
always
that kid. I like that kid.
And we've interviewed Evan Arcourt, so we
came
know.
from the NWA wrestling.
There it is.
OVA too.
Oh yeah, see, so now
And H5.
so you know that these guys from conception. You know these guys from when they walked into the schoolhouse and said, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Those guys.
So now you see what they're
phenomenal.
doing, and you got one of the guys going for the heavyweight championship, H5,
Yeah.
stronger than
Both.
hot 5 hydrogen bombs is what.
Is that what he said again?
That's what King Mighty said. He's stronger than 5 hydrogen bombs. So so what can we say to the heavyweight champ? You better be ready.
Yeah, I think he's ready. He's more confident than ever. I believe when he first came in the industry, he was trying to figure himself out.
Yep.
But I think he's concentrating more on wrestling now. He used to be a football player. He's concentrating more on wrestling now.
So hey, what I can say is we're gonna call that match. I'm gonna try to call it down the middle. I don't know about this guy, but because he's kind of biased.
He's biased.
He's kind of biased, but I think I'm gonna call it down the line, and I'm gonna make sure that our fans love what we see.
I'm biased against Brooks. That's about it.
Well, you again, you heard that here first. I didn't say it. To our fans and to everybody who's going to be watching this, I'm gonna call it down the middle. I'm gonna give you a great show. I'm gonna tell you the story as it continues to be told in the ring and outside the ring. So hopefully we get to talk to these people.
And I'm going to bless you with my presence. So just pay attention to the words. Probably
I'm
some of the
just-
most important things you'll ever hear.
I'm just looking for that class, that billionaire class, how to become a billionaire, Bitcoin or something like that, or playing the lottery, or
I don't know. And honestly, I don't know if everything he's doing is legal, but that's just, and I'll do the research because that's the kind of journalist I am. I'm gonna do the research on this guy. But he said he wants to get in the ring, so I'm wondering who his first program is going to be against when he does.
And that's what I was going to ask you guys, because it ties on to this. I was going to ask you guys if you could step in the ring with any MDWA personnel or wrestler. Who would it be? Who would you manage, or who would you team up with in NDWA? What other guy would you?
Well, it's a very easy question for me. Whomever the champion is, I don't remember. I'm only here to just pass time away. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I just need people to train to make me better. You know what I mean? I have a budget. So however, your champion will be will suffice just fine. But who was that guy you were speaking on? Sir, don't do that. Who was that guy you were speaking on? That's whatever the case. Any of your guys any of your little small change guys, I like to show them what Big Bank looks like.
I see a guy who would be great with you, and he's a champion.
Who's that?
He's a Southeast champion.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
He's 28 years in the business.
I can see that.
That's prime time Tommy Johnson.
I can see that.
Do you know prime time Tommy Johnson?
No,
Trained by the great Adrian Street.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Hey, I think that's a good match. However, we've been talking about these guys, and
Is he broke?
I don't know his financial situation.
But if you're as great as you say you are, you can make him a millionaire. But listen,
hopefully so.
but we've talked about who I could see myself managing. If I was to ever manage here at NDWA, I'd like to manage Evan Encore.
Wow, that's deep.
I think.
Now, why Evan Encore?
I believe
He's great talent.
with my background in film and my background in entertainment, I think I could make him a star.
You know who already is a star? And probably in that same field of mine. If I could actually manage a talent, you know what I'd actually like to manage? I believe that Dustin Divine.
Dang.
Dustin Divine.
He's a good time. He looks
Dustin
like
Divine, he's tall, he's dark, dare I say, handsome, and has a mentality of a champion, has a mentality of a winner, and also lets you know of his divinity, much like me. So therefore, I can respect that in that young kid.
And as a historian, as a person that gets the facts right, I think he said simply divine.
Simply, I think
It's simply divine. It's simply divine, Dustin Divine, right? Because I think that's what it was, and he made sure he said it during the press conference. I think he has a great look. I definitely think he has a great look.
No, he remind me of what's my the master Chris Masters.
Oh, yeah, but you also know who he reminds me of? Lex Luger when he first came to WWE. You know, he's got the prestige. He's got the
he do.
You know what I'm saying? So the narcissist.
The narcissist.
So I think
I like the narcissist.
Yeah, the narcissist is a better cooker, and then the physique too. The way he's built, the way he looks.
Yeah. But you see, he got choked out by Atlas Hightower at the press conference.
Hey man,
I'm looking forward to that.
That was important. That was very unfortunate. However, that's what happens when.
To be honest, I think
that's what happens when people let their emotions get involved in everything. Yeah. I just think that's a talent that I can take to the next level. And that kid, he probably has billionaire talent. But we'll see.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, we don't know exactly everything that's going to happen over here with us being at NDWA. We're glad to be a part of this company. We're glad to be a part of this just revolutionary pro wrestling place, this home. I mean, you guys got it all. You guys got everything. You guys have top tier talent, top tier owners, and top tier stories.
Yeah, well, we're growing. We want to be up there, maybe with the big boys one day. We want this promotion to grow, and we want people to buy a ticket. You need to buy a ticket.
Yes, please buy a ticket.
MDWAWrestling.com. You can buy a ticket right now. MDWAWrestling.com, or get somebody to show you how to buy a ticket.
Yes, absolutely. And
don't be a brokey. Show up and buy the ticket online, and show up and place on you. You got the money.
So I wanted to tell, if you don't mind, I wanted to tell the people watching and anybody who watches after this, please come on February 23rd, because not only will you get great wrestling, the Ring Review will be giving away some things, as well as Houston Genius will be. We'll be giving away some things. There's going to be some raffles, and there's just going to be some giveaways to say thank you for coming to NDWA. But the raffles, for sure, be prepared for, because we're going to give away some one-of-a-kind collectives.
Wow.
One of a kind. Like, you are not going to be able to get this.
Sponsored by yours truly, of course.
This guy.
I mean, you got to make it make sense.
I don't know. At this point,
you want your buddy back?
I want Rich back, but it's fine. We've chosen to have Richard Mill. I'm going to respect it. However, what I'm going to say is, listen, I'm only here to tell the stories of NDWA. I'm not gonna cook up with guys like this who really aren't here for the wrestling. They're here to show off themselves.
Make no mistake about it, Mission. I am here for now. Listen, now that don't do that. Now my passion for pro wrestling is of any mark on any level. It just so happens I'm not the musty mark like most of you. I happen to do things with my time when Raw and SmackDown goes off. I don't just marvel in other pro wrestlers' accomplishments. But however, yes, I am very fascinated with MDWA, all of their talent, and all of the indie talent throughout Michigan. I've been extremely fascinated. It's been a breath of fresh air as a fan of pro wrestling.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to respect that. I mean, I honestly am so glad you had us here. And
I'm so glad to have you guys
to
here.
Be a part of NW.
Y'all spice things up. I'm telling you. I can't wait to the NDWA show February 23rd. Revolution.
I can't wait for the fans to just enjoy what they hear and what they see.
Well, hey, it's good to have you. Any final words you want to say to the audience?
Real quick. Don't want you following me because I don't like you guys, but please follow my buddy, The Rich, at The Enrichment on Instagram. Follow him at Richard Jackson on Facebook. And also make sure you're following his podcast, The Ring Review, on Facebook and Instagram, as well as his company, Forever Exposure Studios. Mission, go ahead.
Real quick, when are we going to see this Rich again?
Oh, no, the Rich is he's taking care of business for the Mission. What is that kid doing?
So the Rich is working on some other production things. And, you may or you may not see him. But the whole thing is, right now, I guess we're going to have Richard Mille, and that's cool. We'll have Houston Genius, and we'll have Mission. But you again, Mission, you get that's Mizzion Smith. That's everywhere. This is Houston Genius. You can look that up on YouTube because he's a YouTuber too.
YouTube,
but
by the way.
You got your own YouTube channel?
Yes, YouTube.
Wow.
Yes, sir. YouTube.
What's the channel name?
Houston Genius. Once you put Houston, there's no Texas. There's no Smarty Pants. It's just a Houston with a space and a genius.
Houston Genius. You search that on YouTube. You'll find all of his stuff there. But if you go to YouTube, you want to look up Forever Exposure Studios. That's where you see the Ring Review episodes and the Family Faction Wrestling Podcast with the youngest award-winning podcaster in the world, Houston Genius. And then on Instagram, Family Faction Wrestling Podcast.
But before we go, I want to talk a tiny bit about your production company.
Okay.
Tell us more about the production company.
Okay, Forever Exposure Studios is a film production company. It's been in existence for the past, Forever Exposure Studios has been in existence for the past 15 years. But prior to that, I've been in the business 24 years altogether. But what we do is short films. We actually have a company called Creative Studios we're linked with, and we do animation on that side. So you're going to see some of that stuff cooked up in, but we do film, podcasting. We go out into different events like film premieres and music events, and we do interviews. So there's a lot we do over there at Forever Exposure Studios. And our main thing right now is producing these podcasts, which is the Ring Review and the Family Faction Wrestling Podcast. And you can catch Houston interviewing people like Victoria Buff Bagwell, the Headbangers, recently Matt Riddle. You can see us interviewing people like The Godfather and Rhino. And so we've done a lot, but we're very humble and we're very thankful for all our fans.
That's great.
Anything you want to add?
Maybe we might also add to our recent Joe Hendry.
Oh yes, we did interview. We interviewed Joe Hendry. Let's not. He wants to get into the list, so let's not forget the people who have definitely cooked up with us, and we want to say thank you to Joe Hendry, Nick Nemeth. He got to interview Nick Nemeth, and Nick Nemeth posted on Instagram saying that Houston asked the best question at the TNA press conference when they were here for Bound for Glory. So the list is long, right? The list is long, and we're very thankful. Forever Exposure Studios, the Ring Review, and the Family Faction Wrestling Podcast. All things we want you guys to go follow and look for.
Hey, look, guys, you heard it here. These guys are going to be at the NDWA show. They're going to spice things up. They're going to bring entertainment.
One thing, Lou, and I just want to say thank you for having us on this show. Thank you for having your ring review and boasting my friend in Mission's podcast. You know what, Lou? You keep this up, and I don't know about a class for the many, but for the few, I might take care of you.
I need it.
Yeah, you seem like you may have $1 billion talent. I might be able to work with you.
I might have to change the gimmick.
Talk to me later.
I love it.
This is Lucius White. I'm with Rich Mill, Mission.
And Houston Genius.
We're signing off. We'll see you February 23rd at the MDWA show in Garden City, Michigan at the Tipton Center. Hey, get those tickets at mdwawrestling.com. Check us out.
Missile Dropkick Wrestling Association presents Resolution Revolution. The Missile Dropkick is back. MDWA brings you a
What's up, man?
jam-packed night of non-stop action. Championships will be on the line. Rivalries will ignite, and the energy will be unmatched. MDWA is the premier wrestling promotion. Tickets are on sale now.
It was just at the international.
Who was that?
That was y'all, right?
Right, yeah. They did the
Yeah,
internet.
oh, yeah, we did. We was in the international.
Just there.
We got to get back up there. I was just talking to my guy today.